we're more open to suggestions on the pathway that we're going. Because you want to make sure that you listen to people. People always come with feedback. You want to hear exactly what they have to say. Maybe this is a great way to do it. Maybe this next step is a great way. A couple of things we discovered is that some things were good and some things are we've been able to go back to originally what we formed this as, which is in a lot of ways a guerrilla marketing campaign to make sure that people know exactly what you have out there. Because Dedra, I heard you were talking this morning about the fact that people eventually find out you're there. They eventually find you're out in your neighborhood. But if you don't take over your neighborhood, they're never going to know that you're there. You're dealing with people with trauma. The last thing is, and I think this is the issue that I want all clinic owners to realize, don't expect your people to show up somewhere and say, I have this gift for you, and then to turn around and say, I want it. Okay? Trauma doesn't work that way. I mean, these people, you could be the next person to let them down. You could be the next person to turn around and make promises. You can do all of these things. And also working out with mental health organizations. Realize that other mental health organizations aren't always healthy. They don't always want to work with you. Okay? And unfortunately, our field is not like, when you're working in physical health, you have physicians that say, this is how we treat cancer. These are the trials that we've gone through. This has been peer reviewed. This is yada, yada, yada. In mental health, we don't always have the luxury of that. Okay? We do. We have people's opinions that are very strong. The great thing about this program, I feel like, is that we're working with life skills. You know what I mean? It's very practical. It's very available. It makes sense. Okay? It is what we're creating is an avenue for people to get something that's been around for behavioral health's been around for a long time. This ain't new. This is not new at all. But it's underutilized in Texas. And we all know that. We have people losing jobs right now, not because it's been overburdening the mental health, it's because people aren't using the program. So a lot of these people that Dee is talking to, and she's trying to get us credentialed with this place. Oh, this person, they laid off 20 people the other day. A lot of that is because of what's going on, and also the contracting. It is a poorly managed program. Okay, but I think we can do a little bit to change that, especially since we're doing it on a micro scale. I don't want us as owners to think of things as macro. I want us to think it's micro. Okay, macro is great. Getting a relationship with the school is great. You gotta get the MOU, but get the relationship with the school because you have students in the school that you're gonna go see. Not because you wanna collect 15 schools in this district and say, I'm here. You're gonna have to show up and go see these people. And that's what our street teams are. The reason our street teams are growing so fast is, and let John say, that's funny. John's got a whole list. He gives them something to do every single day. I don't want to be in charge of that. But I'll let him tell a little bit about what we're doing in marketing. But that's the transition that I feel like it's exactly where we need to be. We need to know Johnny. We don't need to know Union High School. You know what I mean? We didn't know Tyreek up here. We don't need to know these people that are gatekeepers. And a lot of those times, those gatekeepers too want their palms greased. And they want different favors and things like that. We just want to stay out of that. Yeah, we're looking for 30, 40, 50, 60, 100 kids that need some help. That's not real difficult when the average family is about 3 kids that probably need help in that family. It's not difficult, okay? It really is not. So we'll hand it off to John and let him tell you a little bit about what we've been doing marketing-wise.
All right, marketing-wise, we're gonna ramp up our marketing tremendously. I'll use the analogy. We're ordering our HGH because our marketing strategy is going to be on steroids. Okay. We're actually in the process of hiring several people to help with our marketing strategy and getting out into the community, reaching the hospitals, the police departments, the daycares, the community centers. We not only want to reach those people, we want to make those connections so we can keep that communication going for long periods of time. I mean, if we show up and say we care about the kids, we love everything about helping and everything, and then as soon as we get our first client, you never see us again. We don't want to be that person or that company. The first way of kind of staying on top of all that is my marketing team. Actually, my marketing lead, Wendy, has created a spreadsheet that we monitor daily activity, hourly activity, events on calendar, on schedule, and as well as creating a schedule for the week. I'll let you guys kind of look at that, but we're creating schedules that we're outreaching to the people that we need to get to reach. if you guys have, that's kind of where we're going. So if you guys have any questions about going our approach to that, please let us know. Please right now.
I think you did a good job the other day with that daycare. I didn't even see daycare sitting on my horizon. You guys were able to go to daycare and sign up clients at the daycare. I didn't think of that part. You know, I mean, you went into the daycare and one thing John said to me is he said you had a community outreach worker that said it's not people coming in that. What did you say? They said it's not people coming in to help. We got those. It's just people staying. That's the problem. You know what I mean? So
and that's what we want to do. We don't want to come across disingenuous. We want to make sure that our what we preach is what we're practicing, and I think keeping that lines of communication open with the families will definitely help towards that.
I know Andrew's talked about like having like a calendar potentially where maybe we could schedule some things to come down and actually be a part of it.
Very much.
Possible, that'd be awesome.
yeah.
Very much. I didn't even talk about the social media side of it,
Yeah.
the website side of it. We're going to make sure that we're known, the people that are actually getting out there. So we're going to get pictures up, daily activity or weekly activity as far as social media is concerned. Just kind of keep everyone informed. We don't want it to be, hey, we're Texas Care, but we're going to keep quiet about what we do. We want to put it out there and let everyone know that we have a focus. We have a focus.
I think when you talk about the web team, we got a web team. It's something we haven't told you guys about. We do have a web team that's building a website for every single location. They also have the opportunity to put in your zip code and say with the nearest click, it'll say, do you need help? Put in your zip code. And wherever you are, if you don't just put the zip code in, it just picks up where you are and it tells you where the nearest Texas Care is. Okay, so we feel like that'll alleviate Facebook. So they're building, I think, 20 this month for the first 20 locations. So those should be built out the next 2 weeks. And he's working directly with John. So everyone's gonna have their own website. And John, I think you had to tweak some of the stuff.
Right, we tweaked a little bit to make it kind of user friendly for you all, make it easier for that. So, but yeah, it's gonna be cranked out here shortly. I think Evie is actually in conversation with that about that. But yeah.
But just also help with the brand, our branding across all of our clinics to make sure that when Texas Care is out there, that's Texas Care. And, it's not something that's just popping up and you're like, what is this? Or, just making sure everything is kind of seamlessly between all of us, so.
And these two, before we get to Lizzie here, these two drive down Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday from Fort Worth. They come in and organize this. They're opening the corporate office in Dallas next week too. We just opened the one in Beaumont yesterday. So corporate offices are opening, but they come down here for organization. These three here in this row talk quite a bit, talk all the time. I leave, we have meetings during the day, but Aaron and I try to call them right around 8 p.m. to make sure they ain't relaxing too much. But I'm 12 hours in.
Well, I'm glad he said that too, because we want you guys to know that we're working from an owner's point of view. We know the challenges and the questions that owners may have, because we've had them as well. So being on this side, we're able to kind of jump ahead of that and just kind of make sure things are, like you said, seamless moving forward.
Yeah. And developing that marketing program that your front desk person will be a part of that marketing program. Right. Will be all, so you can have all eyes on there. That person there from 8 to 5 is not going to have that much to do. Okay, they really do. We have to make sure that we utilize them in ways that, and our 800 number is going to do the same thing. 800 number, we're passing out those clients to you as they call the 800.
Yeah, we're training our staff, the front office staff, to when they receive a phone call and this client's requesting services, they'll direct that client, not just say, let me transfer you, but let me help facilitate you getting an appointment with the location nearest you.
Yes.
And with you won't lose contact throughout the night.
No,
we're going to hold you.
And the reason we're having you get the Verizon phone package that we have, and we don't get any kickbacks or anything like that, that's a relationship you guys start between each other. But we can forward that call to your clinic from there. You know what I mean? This keeps a system in place that makes it easy to use for the client. Because I'm gonna tell you the one thing that, and we're also condensing our packets and things like that. The one way to lose a client is to forget the fact that they have other stuff they could be doing besides filling out 18 pages of disclosure. Okay? You're gonna have to sit there with them and do this. And this is what we're training our people to do, because we lose a lot of people by just getting a name and a Medicaid card. okay? Our people are being trained to go back out to the apartment complex that they were before. If you go to an apartment complex, you gotta go back next week, and you gotta go back next week. You have to do that. And also, we're volunteering people at the local food banks, and things like that. So these are things that we're putting in motion, and jobs are putting in motion. Lizzie, I gotta give them a lot of credit right now, because I love getting reports, man. You know, the guy that sits back and goes, "We should do this better." Now go. After doing this so long, now being able to look at what we're doing as a company from a legal standpoint, it's been helpful. I mean, Aaron and I probably had 10, 12 hours of meetings last week to do a managing partner agreement with a healthcare firm that we have hired that's out of Austin they've worked directly with Medicaid before. So we have that protection in place. We saw a lot of the things that we were doing right, but they also helped us, mostly told us we were overcomplicating things. That's one of the reasons why the managing partner agreements and things like that can do, and some of the clinical supervision things that we're doing, we want to make sure they're in line. Okay, because not when you get audited, it's going to happen. All right, and like I said earlier, they're going to take their 18 cents back. Let's just make sure they don't take 18,000 back. You know what I mean? They're going to take their 18 cents back. So, and being philosophically sound. Lizzie here has been doing y'all know Lizzie, probably talked to her a little bit, or a lot of it. Lizzie's been doing, I can tell you can tell a little bit about the trainings that you've developed too with admin and everything, all the stuff that you're doing in this office here is overseeing this office.
Yeah, so because coming in, y'all are gonna have a bunch of, how do I do this? How do I set this up? So Yesenia, actually, our clinical director, and I have been working and creating these documents for you guys. And actually you can go and click on, how do I send this referral? Where do I get this referral form? Everything that you're gonna ever need for your clinic, we're getting everything together for you to have that request for records. The intake packets, I know we have been working on that a lot, because there was times that I was, let me see what they are looking at. Oh no, I would have already not submitted anything, because you already got me on the 5th question, and it's the same thing that we, you know?
Yeah,
So we're just kind of going in and cleaning everything up, making it simpler. Like John was saying, something easy for the clients to have access to, making sure that we're cross-training all of our staff, so that, for example, one of my administrators is out sick today. The street team is already cross-trained to answer the phones and know how to verify the client's insurance or the MCO. They know how to put the information into the EHR system, CMBHS, which is the state's EHR system, all of that stuff. But we wanted to make sure that we give you guys all of the tools that you're gonna need before you ask them from us.
Well said. Well said. We put a task before them when we said we wanted Nick Saban this. I don't know if anybody thought football. Nick Saban, they said that when he coached, he would look at the guy up on the filming in practice on a ladder. And he'd say, he's holding his camera the wrong way. And he'd start you know, people are like, that's one camera out of 13 cameras, but he noticed that that's the camera. We have to do this in that kind of detail. That's why having 4 codes really does provide us some of that ease too, because before we start adding substance abuse, we need to make sure we're doing this well. And guys, I'm telling y'all, those 4 codes, that's what you need right now. That's what the community needs right now. The money grab that comes with the 5 other codes you can be thrown in there, let's leave that alone so that we're doing this years from now. Okay? There's just too much of that out there. Trust me, there's too much of that out there. Okay? So, but as a facility, I think that one thing that I think that we've learned is that we grew and we needed a larger footprint, we needed a larger base. We're gonna need more help. Okay? So some of the people that y'all are hiring, you can tell.
Yeah, we're gonna need a lot more help. We're gonna need help in you guys' areas and everything. I've been connecting with Anton and a few others, just kind of throwing some ideas around, seeing what marketing strategies we could come up with together, and that'll go in effect with you guys as well. But yeah, we're putting people in place to just kind of make sure we stay ahead of the game. Yeah. And we're hiring people in the areas that they dwell, the areas that they're from. They would know more about those areas than anybody professionally we can bring in. So that's kind of what we're looking for. We're gonna do it. We're gonna make it happen.
We went to Beaumont the other day, and I like Beaumont. Beaumont is Beaumont, and some of those people were from those areas. That
some
they were. This one girl that started working with us, QHP, she brings over 20. She got 21, 22 clients on the list first 2 weeks. That's because she's from that, she's from that part of town, you know what I mean? They know
he
that
said
area, so.
we're gonna follow up the next week, but we follow up in 2 to 3 days. We haven't made any contact or anything, so.
So this is just a spreadsheet?
Yeah, just spreadsheet. Yeah, just kind of market it.
No, that's good. Yeah.
Outstanding.
And actually, Luis made this, not me.
Yeah.
I want to give credit. Where credit is due. Luis, one of our marketing team.
Actually, good at what he does.
Slash IT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not to step on any toes, but the system that we've developed for
The high
level,
go
that can put that entire list in there, and we can create a series of automations and follow-ups automatically that just go out without even thinking about it.
Right. So we had that discussion, and I spoke with her. She's gonna be the one that can implement that. Implement that. So yes,
Yeah.
y'all need.
And we have a team too that can do it for us too,
Right.
with your oversight.
Right.
So we have the guys that can just, you tell them what to do and they'll do it.
Okay.
Are you using like a CRM or?
It's goal high level, which is like a
It's-
CRM
Yeah.
/ marketing system, unified inbox.
It's-
Eric.
Yeah, it's like everything all in one is the
Okay.
one and all in one solution for
It sounds
everything.
perfect.
Go high
You can
level.
market on it.
So if you're the one, if you look at like go high level, like if you look at
What's this guy?
go HIGH high level, it's amazing. It does.
Okay.
we take
Yeah, I
that.
wrote it down so I can look it up. I'll
Yeah.
probably look it up on the drive back.
Yeah, you can build your websites through there, your landing pages.
Yeah, we'll definitely talk about that.
Yeah.
And one thing is, and piggybacking off that, and like Aaron with me here now this time, is making sure that Aaron's making sure that every form that we put out is exact. When we're putting out job offers, they're exact. There's a Texas Care way to do things, and having a centralized location for all those forms for you
Yeah.
is going to protect us too legally. You
Yeah.
understand? 'Cause
Yeah.
we did have somebody that got really ambitious and sent out Doug, I'll let you explain it, but
They sent out an email when they were going to hire a QMHP requesting, basically stating that if they bring clients with them, that they'll give them a referral fee per client. Well, that's a kickback.
yeah, and guess what
Can't do
kickbacks
that,
get you?
yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah. They're like, oh, do not use that wording, you cannot say that ever.
No, we don't do any kickbacks. We can do intake fees, things of that sort, compensating somebody for their time,
Facilitating the
facilitating
interview
that.
process.
It's not a bribe, it's lobby.
And we know people do it, but we also know that, we know QMHPs will follow, clients follow QMHPs. But we don't want an active program that does that. We can go out, there's enough, why are we taking from other clinics when there's so many kids that aren't getting help? Yeah, what do we just, we're looking at this the entirely wrong way, and I think in mental health, we do that. That's what we had a group home we were working with, and another group came in, and there was all of a sudden there's a battle over these 10 kids. We can do this, we can do that. We
not
do
about the
in that
kids at that
situation,
point.
if the group home makes that decision as they would like to have this person on it, what we do is we bow gracefully, we wish them all the best, because these kids can get help from someone besides us. I hope that what's happening is they're gonna get help, but that's not treated as though we're the only shop, okay? We're not, these are not things that we're acquiring. Clients are not something we acquire, all right?
Well, we don't
Clients
wanna
are
be
something we
pulling them,
help.
they need consistency
Yes, they
too.
need consistency, and they got a freedom of choice. Okay, remember the clients have a freedom of choice, and we need to abide by that, and just keep putting out a great curriculum and taking care of people the way some of us all needed it when we were younger. You know what I mean? Just make sure that we're good, because there's a lot of kids out there that don't know nothing about this. They don't know nothing about this at all. Remember in Monroe, Louisiana, we had a clinic out there, 3,000 kids, 50,000 people in that town, but 70,000 with the surrounding. And we never ran an ad, we never did anything like that. We just, over time, they learn that you're there. And that's what I need as us owners, is to realize that some areas are gonna open up like Beaumont, and you're gonna have somebody walk in with 30 clients that day. They're gonna know there. And then some areas are gonna open up like Katy, where y'all know Katy and Beaumont. Katy and Beaumont are different worlds, right? Yes, woo!
But if we're gonna make Katy work, we'll make any more
That's
work.
it.
Katy can work, that's a proven concept, all right? 'Cause Katy, yeah,
Absolutely.
those 13 people on Medicaid that are in Katy, you gotta get them all.
Find them, find them.
Talked to a guy, talked to a potential guy out in South Lake. I was like, dude, there's nobody on Medicaid. in South Lake.
No. Somebody asked me for a Woodlands
20,000.
location. What about the Woodlands? I'm like,
Oh dear.
yeah, we're gonna be okay. Yeah. So
We're okay.
let's just be, but remembering that each one of these is gonna grow at different rates, and as long as you're doing the right thing, they will grow. Okay, that's one thing I think y'all have faith in, especially people have been in the mental health field for long enough. You guys know this. You know this. You know, it's totally the, if you build it, they're gonna come. You build it, they'll come. But us maintaining, I wish Dee was in here, but we pulled Dee off, the whole program stops. But Dee is next door doing credentialing, and she's being joined by somebody else. We're hiring another credentialer, to add to the team, and a revenue officer that's gonna kind of assist them too as well. So we've got a few more departments, as many as 8 that we're adding, which you guys don't even know about right now. We've got an IT department, web department. But you'll be able to talk to, when the 2 weeks they'll be on the website. How about that? You know what I mean? And you'll see what the departments are. But the web team has been working for about 3 weeks, and feel like they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, they're doing a pretty good job.
Yeah.
I mean, we're making some. Yeah.
Okay, good. What about questions for us?
So that stuff, you're gonna take that all in-house, so nobody has to, just to keep it consistent also, but, so you're taking over like social, you're making the profiles, you're making the websites.
You guys will be able to. We're creating the profiles with our website designer, but you guys will be able to access it, control it, run it.
But you're gonna put out content as well?
We're gonna give you content in the Dropbox.
Yeah.
And you put it out there, okay.
You put it out in there, because we don't want them all to seem the same. They'll have
Yeah.
Texas Care one, but we'd like to give you content that's specific to your area.
Okay.
The reason being is the content, and the one thing I don't want Texas Care to be is this corporation. We don't want to look like,
Yeah.
you know, content in Brownsville versus Beaumont versus, I'm gonna give y'all an example. I was in Fairfield the other day. Right when you called about Fairfield, we were 5 miles away, weren't we? So hey, we're gonna stop by. We're on the way to corporate office. Let's talk about Fairfield. I stopped in Fairfield and I saw 8 Confederate flags in a row. I kept looking around Fairfield, but I was like, well, I kind of get a feeling this is not the place they want me to be. But these people need help, right? Okay, Fairfield, Vidor, these are the top 2 places in my life that I don't want to be. Right? But one of the reasons we know that people, when it comes to economic stress, racism typically follows. Okay, you got to blame it. Basic sociology tells us that
everybody's striving for their limited resources.
Yep, and they're blaming somebody else that has nothing to do with it and why they don't have anything. You know what I mean? Unless, except it gets a little more complicated in Texas because there are people here that do not, you know what I mean? The people of color here that do not have resources. They're not able to receive them. They're not able to, for whatever various reasons. I was talking to my son the other day about SAT classes and things like that. We're developing, because of our stop in Fairfield, and we talked to the staff here, talked to everybody in the team. We're able to say something now, I think differently that with Medicaid, most places will say. Medicaid can offer this, right? We can't say Medicaid offers tutoring. We can't say Medicaid offers any sort of supports along academics, but Texas Care can. So our columns that have been on our marketing is Texas Care can offer this, and Medicaid offers this. This creates a program. The reason being is this hybrid training that they're talking about right now. We've got Wendy here, who's a school teacher, and she first thing is she's like, hey, I'm willing to do some after school from 2 to 5. I'll do marketing from 8 to 2, and then from 2 to 5, I'll come in house and I'll help people with SAT studies. These are what I want our corporate offices to be able to offer, because we may not be able to say Texas Care offers it, but we can say. But with Medicaid offices, we can't say Texas Care can. Right. Okay, so and it doesn't take us much. It's really it's just moving our staff around. We've got some very talented people here that can play multiple positions. Okay, and we're going to utilize them in that way.
I think Ty, you could add to some of that as well.
ACT, I got
Do you? What's your commute? What's your commute?
I know.
She's moving to Texas. We've already decided.
Zoom.
Tie down here once a month.
There's always Zoom though.
3 12-hour days in a row. We got it.
That's true. There is Zoom. Yeah.
But you've written a couple books as well that kind of along some of this stuff too. So.
I have like SAT textbooks too. Like I have
Oh.
all of it.
That's
Like,
useful,
you know,
really.
Yeah.
Okay. I already ordered. We already ordered a couple of copies of your book.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did. So we'll order those SAT because I like to use the resources we have.
Yeah.
Like especially speaking to the 3 of you here, it's just there's tremendous resources the 3 of you offer
Yeah.
that we can kind of hijack and bring into what we're doing.
Test prep and mental health. I mean, what else would a parent want?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
So we don't know you guys' background.
Yeah.
Well, I'm a psychologist.
Okay.
And so I have a private practice. Deanna's my office manager. She's also my sister.
Okay.
And so she just kind of helps the operation run.
Gotcha.
Okay. Yeah.
All right,
So
well,
we do
that's-
counseling, therapy, consultations, evaluations,
Okay.
assessments, all kinds of different things. We work with, we have like contracts with different entities. Like the juvenile detention centers. We have law enforcement contracts. We have Texas Workforce Commission, vocational rehabilitation contracts, all kinds of different things. But then we also just get regular referrals from like pediatricians and physicians and things like that.
Did you guys market any?
No, I spent $400 on marketing when I first opened,
Yeah.
like 10 years ago, and I've never ever marketed ever again.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That tells you a lot right there.
Yeah.
It says a lot about you.
There's just such a need. There's such a need.
Yeah.
And if you do a good job, people will continue to come. Like there's a benefit. So yeah.
Yeah.
And you say you're from Atlanta, or you're out of Atlanta?
I live in Atlanta, but no, I'm not from Atlanta.
Oh, okay.
I'm from Sweeney, Texas.
Sweeney.
Wow. Grand total of what, like 3,500?
Wow.
Very small town.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, so Sweeney, Texas. So it's just,
What's near Sweeney?
so we're about we're about 50 miles south of Houston.
Okay.
We're just down. Keep going down 288 until you can't really go down anymore.
Okay.
Keep going down.
Surfside Beach, right?
Yeah, Surfside Beach. Yeah. That's right down there in that area.
I never seen like
Yeah, you guys have you have an established brand. Which is a beautiful thing. And you're really just adding this program on to add some volume to it.
Right.
That's it.
Yes,
Yes.
definitely. So it's a perfect fit.
And the latest background is Texas Care franchise owners.
Yes.
There you go.
Yeah. There you go. And Ty as well.
Yeah.
Two of those.
Yes. Ty, what's your background?
So I started a company helping middle school students get into top high schools. So then we've supported like 1,000 students today. So now we're adding on college admissions.
Oh, man.
Yeah, so I'm still doing that to this day. But I just love mental health. Because I see it as a great opportunity to support children.
It is a
So
great
I'm excited to
opportunity.
be with you guys.
It really is, because some of these kids don't get that. You guys take it for a lot for granted, and John and I know growing up, we would, you guys don't know that's my cousin too, by the way. Yeah, he was my little cousin back in the day. I used to meet people like seriously, yeah, love them. And the funny about it is you'd be like, yeah, how are you cousin? No, it's just, I'm sure you can attest to that. Sometimes the most confident people you find are in your family. And I didn't even think that this would be a relationship. Sometimes not. We're about 45 people we haven't told that we like the hands out. But the one thing I do like about the way that John approaches things, when I've had a viewed approach on it for a while, and his work in the education system so strongly, and him and Evie both working in the education system so strongly in Dallas, at one of the most prominent schools out there. And then also being able to go from that school to Duncanville to, you had an ease of moving back and forth, coaching football, doing it, you know what I mean? It's just, when you watch a school throw an event and they're crying when he leaves, you know what I mean? You kind of know that you got the, and I watched everything that they've done. I remember one day he called me and he said, I'm a DJ. I said, you're a DJ? What you gonna DJ? I said, okay, man, you gonna like be nice, what we doing? What we got going on? They started a wedding DJ business. It became a prominent, a massive, I didn't know wedding DJ, like to the point where I called him one day and said, hey man, how much are those speakers? I was looking at him going, man, I get a slide over.
Newsflash, I still don't
my
like
God.
DJ, but you know, we do what we do.
But I watched them build infrastructure the last 15 years. It makes sense. I watched them build infrastructure, and I know that he has a passion, that they both have a passion for what we do. Just like we watched, Lizzie was the person that answered the phones for us when we started. You can watch people's passion, and if you got sometimes when you interview people, you get like a bird's eye view. You got to listen to what they're saying to you. It's nice when you can pick out and kind of cherry pick people in your life that you know that you've seen do it, and that fortifies what you, because it allows us to sit back and go do some other things. You know what I mean? Because you guys have blessed us with a huge opportunity. It's massive. So, and it's just, we're tasked to deliver. And that's what our focus is. Okay? Transparency and delivering exactly what we should and what this community deserves, which also delivers you what you're asking for as well. So So.
Well said.
We have to do that part first, so, all right? But, if you guys, and again, when you come in town, stop in, this office is open. We're not people that are, these guys drive up, Lizzie's here. Don't you hear Sunday sometimes? she just got a Tesla, she has no excuse.
It's nice.
She got no gas bill now. Lizzie, be there Saturday, you know? But yeah, he's got some really, really solid people. And Arian's background, I do a lot of the talking, but she prepares me for these. And the clinical piece that I don't want to have, you know, I like to teach. I'm a group guy. All that other stuff that y'all do, I'm good. At least when you teach group, you get accolades. Thank you, Charlie. You did so much. The stuff the clinicians do on a deeper level, they don't get any thank yous. They don't get anything like that. So, and writing the manuals that are necessary and the research that's got to go into that, that's just important. We got to stay compliant. Okay? And compliance is the one thing that we're always going to be bucking up against. And that's what you're trusting us with on this end. Okay?
And please stay in contact if you need to. We're gonna connect all the dots for you guys. If you call, have questions, we're gonna get those answers for you. So, yeah, just make sure you do that.
Yeah. All of them answer their phones.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
All the time.
Yes. 3 in the morning, even, this guy.
All I hear is
I'm
voices
going to
from
bed,
other
he's just
rooms.
like
You know? I hear voices from other rooms all the time. Like, Dad's on the phone. Who's he talking to? I already know. I knew those voices before I met y'all. You know?
Even from Cancun, we've had, I don't know how many calls from Cancun, or even Cancun, or like, we're doing some call. He's like, I'm here.
He literally gets up and goes, watch the girls, and walks away. And I go,
Tennessee, yeah. But we have to do that because there's some things that's going to come that's going to frustrate. You know, credentialing is frustrating, guys. It's taking longer than it's ever taken. These contracts changing, it just takes longer. That's why we're doing the managing partner agreements to allow us to have just, and some of y'all know, that's just adding a location and allowing you to supervise it for us that way. So that you can get to business, you can start the business of helping kids a lot sooner.
Yeah.
So Dedra wants to get a lot of her colleagues accredited with Medicaid. How long of a process is that? I know that you guys, maybe if you had any questions about that at all.
right. We reached that when we got here, so we want to make sure that we get that answered for you.
Are you bringing them in for counseling services or clinical supervision services?
I think we're in supervision.
Supervision? Okay,
Yeah, so, let's see. I know she's
Their
busy.
entire organization.
She's awesome though.
There she is.
Yes, she is.
Hey,
Hi.
what's going on?
That is.
How y'all doing?
You know, you never want to sit
I'm
down.
in the process of an application right now, so I'm good. I'm staying.
I wanted to time out.
You need to go back? Okay. They're curious about the application time for
So with individuals for the LPC, since I'm not like doing a group or anything, I'm just actually credentialing just the individual. It usually takes, I'm gonna say,
Go conservative, girl.
Yep, always.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna use the term of 45 business days.
Okay.
So
Okay.
that kind of gives you, kind of
Okay.
pushing towards.
Okay.
Dang, they're 90 days.
Yeah, we were looking for about a 3-month process, so that's not bad.
3 months.
Yeah, so it's right in our alleyway.
In facilities, you have to add so many more documents, and all those documents have to be reviewed, then sent back and say you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So, but with individuals, I'm just really doing a lot of the basics.
So what do you need, for each individual person? Is it the license, the NPI number?
Basically, yeah, your NPI number, and I would need your date of birth, I would need your social, I would need
Get it all.
Get
it all.
Basically.
And your
They don't really.
They don't need the actual license?
They don't really actually, because they have their own way of searching to make sure that it's, but I just have to do the hard part on just putting everything in.
Okay, so just as their basic information.
Yes.
Identification.
Yeah, and
then
those,
their
the
NPI.
address and your NPI.
Okay. All right, that's not bad.
Yeah, and so then what happens when you get ready to join the group,
Okay.
I take the individual,
And then you just attach them to the group.
and then you still gotta wait for the, I still gotta wait, that's a whole nother process.
Okay, but yeah, that's something different. But
Right,
the
yeah.
individual person will already be.
Yeah,
good to go.
you and so you'll end up with a TPI number, so you'll end up
Okay.
with your own Medicaid individual.
Okay.
And they can be attached to an existing clinic at that point?
No, you have to get, credential first.
Yeah, they'll be
Well,
attached.
and
to-
then you
they'll be
can-
attached
then you
to
can
Yeah.
corporate
attach.
at that point.
Okay.
Yeah, so
So you can't do both at the
Your
same
credentials,
time.
you'll have to get.
Yeah, so the individual, if they're not, like if somebody was already contracted, then I just add them, to a contracted group already. But if if you're not Medicaid ready, then no.
But if she wanted to like help oversee some of like our clinics,
Yeah.
is that a potential, like once she's credentialed within the
We can
90-ish days?
Yeah,
Well,
we can definitely
45.
utilize that.
Perhaps. If
Business
it's just-
days, yes. I
Yeah,
would
for-
say
yeah.
yeah, business.
So,
Okay.
Yeah, I gotta say business days.
Oh, yeah, that's
So
okay.
that's
That's a
fine.
difference.
I say
Here you
so.
go.
They be like, man,
Yeah.
it was 2 holidays in between.
Yes, I know. Don't
Oh dear, we're running up into that, aren't we? Yes.
Okay, yeah,
We
yeah.
sure are,
Gotta
yes.
run into that, so.
Solid information,
And
yes.
this, another question, so that 45 business days, does that include the MCOs as well, or that's a
No.
separate process?
No, that's that process.
Okay.
Yeah, it's completely
Totally,
separate.
yeah, totally
That's just
separate, yeah.
yeah.
Right now,
That's
all
it.
we're trying to do is just get them their
The
TPI.
individual. Okay.
Right.
Yeah, that's what y'all want, should keep it.
Indeed, indeed on timeout.
Yeah, because Medicaid with time out, and then I'd be like, oh, fix
Look.
it, Jesus.
One thing I can say about Dee, and Dee knows this, is Erin was the one that handled this credentialing piece, and she's this way. I watched them work together, and I watched Erin work with other people, and the other thing about being married with is it ain't going well, it ain't gonna go well for you. You know what I mean? Because it's just, she's very exact. Dee's very exact. For her to back up from this at all tells me a lot about what Dee does. They still communicate often, every day, but it's important to know that you got somebody here that knows what they're doing. You know what I mean?
And then, and I have like your little sheet already updated, and I, put in notes so you can see up to date as possible, I can say.
Okay.
I'll show you some
Yeah.
notes.
So I try to be very as detailed as possible. So and then if you really just don't know, then just reach out to me. But I try to be very, very detailed. Like I'm going to say the rep said this, and I said this, and this is what happened.
Right.
And so
Yeah.
you can see.
Oh, wow.
Or the
And
mom.
also you can scroll and just kind of review some of her notes, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
she is
So
very
you can
thorough.
actually follow where you're at with
I
each
just found out, he
MCO.
just told me last week I was about to just roll over. Told me 180 business days.
Yeah.
Right.
They love trying to
That was a,
That's
yeah,
90 days.
No, one of them I want to say somebody's in Driscoll. Or
Oh, the
something.
Driscoll
Yeah, it's one of
out of
them.
Beaumont?
Yeah, it's 180 days. I was
That's
like,
insane.
can you repeat?
Yeah.
And then it was in the email, 180 days.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there's some that just kind of like, oh, we already like in towards that.
Yeah.
And some of those been like, we could be like at that 60-day mark and could be,
It could children, go ahead.
Yeah. And after your actual location is fully credentialed, when you add a provider that already has a TPI number, that process doesn't take nearly.
Yeah, yeah.
There you go. That's probably answers yours a little bit better.
And that sheet that Dee mentioned is a shared Google spreadsheet so that you can look at it and view the status of
At any time.
of the entity.
Yeah.
So Dedra, in the beginning, for the soft launch process, perhaps we could utilize Texas Care Corporate, and then
Right.
as all these clinics become individually credentialed, then we could transfer that over.
Yeah,
Right.
it does give you a chance to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, give-
So,
yeah, give some time.
But thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Great job.
She's so awesome. But yeah, it's the credentialing process is like everyone just talking about the sheets. You have access to those things.
Yeah.
They communicate in real time all day. You know what I mean?
Okay, that's
I'm not a sheet person, bullet point guy. It looks really important. But I like the fact that they have the conversations throughout the day, because even I can look at it and go, hey, wow, this person was contacted. Instead of calling me over and over and over again, saying, where are we at, where are we at? She's documenting in real time, okay? And she's being met with, these departments get met with frequently, okay? So that's one thing that we've tried to strive for with Texas Care now, is if a relationship doesn't work, we don't keep it here. You know what I mean? We just don't keep it here. So you may see some changes from time to time. Maybe it didn't work for whatever reason. reason. We're just pulling together a cohesive team that works quickly, okay, and is very detailed, okay? So,
Perfect.
Does anyone have any questions?
I think my main question was related to the credentialing process, because she's on it, so I'm
She
gonna
is
be
very
connecting
on.
with her. That was my main thing, it's just kind of that process.
and it's a lot better taken. I'll be honest with you, when we first started it was not the way that we wanted it to be,
Right.
okay? And so Erin ended up doing it, but that was the thing that she's always done it. The problem is you can't do that and do other jobs together and do them. But it's difficult for, even you find a clinical supervisor, it was difficult for you to let it go until you had the right people in place. You know what I mean? If you don't have the right detail, if you don't have the right detail-oriented people, they'll bring your whole place down.
That's so true.
You know what I mean? We hired 2 credentialers in a row, and I looked at her and I said, "Why are you still doing a job?" I said, "Why do we still have people here doing?" You know what I mean? Every department has to work on its own. And yeah, go ahead.
With her being in Houston here, and we have offices in Dallas, that's in a different zone. Like, is she able to do anything with those, or do you have to have somebody that's licensed in that? Like, you probably have to be accredited in that zone.
I'll let you answer that about the LPC supervision.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, they don't have to be, as long as they're licensed in the state, I mean.
In the state?
Yeah,
Okay.
counselors are licensed by the
Okay.
state, it's not.
Okay. And then, if we were to find somebody that already has that Medicaid accredit, the TPI or whatever, like, would that be a smooth process of bringing them into something and attaching them to some clients, or, you know?
The providers will get a TPI for per location.
Yeah. I mean, if they already have a TPI, it will typically speed it up a little bit, but they will need another TPI by location. If it's a completely different facility, like altogether. But your facility will already be credentialed by that point. So the process of adding providers won't take nearly as long.
Wait, okay, so the TPI is something that the group gets, right? Or is it that the individual provider and the group? Okay, so then if an individual provider completes their credentialing process, but they're not attached to a group yet, so then how long is that process to get attached to the group that they're going to be supervising?
Isn't that long after they're already approved with Medicaid?
After they're already approved with Medicaid, then it's quicker to attach them no matter where the group is located.
Especially if your Texas Care is already credentialed for these services with those MCOs. Because at that point, then it's just updating your roster and adding a licensed counselor that already has a TPI, that's already credentialed with Medicaid, to your roster with that MCO.
Okay, gotcha.
Basically, everything to me sounds long. But it would be very, like what you're saying, you would think these things would speed it up. It does incrementally.
Right.
But
everything takes time.
We quoted about 3 months, so it's right there.
Yeah, we're trying to figure out the most efficient way to go.
Yeah, it is.
Because I don't want to overpromise, especially with just the 180 days.
Yeah, no, and then we have the holidays coming up, and like there's like a lot, you know,
You know, the piece I was surprised at, the business days piece, they just started attaching that a few months ago. It used to be 180 days or 90 days. Now it's 90 business days.
Right.
And like we've been waiting on Cook's Children for almost a year now. Because Cook's Children, I'm sure it has something to do with these contracts that are being levied out with the Texas Children. They're going to be renewed or not, but they're cutting their departments in half. Like Texas Children, I think they laid off.
they laid off
40 people out of the credentialing department alone.
They did.
Out of the credentialing department alone. You got 2 people in the credentialing department.
Oh, Texas.
And you got 42. You know what I mean? So it's kind of.
They're already waiting a year.
Yeah.
In Louisiana, everything was just on a roster at that time. It was easy to sign up. Once you were already signed up, I could sign it up. We could put an LPC and they would be working with us. You could just add them to a roster, and then they were able to bill. You cannot do that here in Texas. You cannot do it that quickly. Not to pass at all, which is unfortunate. You know, I think that's the way they keep the budget large. Is that people eventually give up. That's what Deed says. Huh? It's a barrier to entry. It is. He said she sees it all the time too. So that's what we liked about her first when we met her. Is that we told her, "Hey, are you patient?" She said, "Yeah, I know Medicaid." And we said all simultaneously, Medicaid just waits for you to give up. The way you give up.
Yeah, right.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
I have an application in the process a couple years ago, and I gave up.
It's a lot of
But
work.
I didn't have D though. Now
You got
I
it
have
now.
So we won't have that problem anymore. Man, but I actually have to leave a little bit early. I'm having some transportation issues, so I'm in between like a rental and like purchasing a new car, and like I have to turn stuff in and go grab stuff, and so we have to leave a little bit early. But I really appreciate you guys allowing us to just kind of come and chat with you guys. I feel so good about just meeting everybody and just feeling your energy and just your enthusiasm for everything. I'm just so grateful to be a part of this team.
We appreciate you being a part of it.
Yeah. So
Mercedes was here. I wanted you to meet her, but you got to run. She's our assessment. She's going to be handling all assessments. And,
Okay.
we're going to start utilizing QMHP leads. We're going to talk to you a little bit more about that.
Yes.
And you've been doing some research on just and working with our attorneys to make sure that we're liability-wise we're covered in the right way.
Okay.
So just because
Yeah.
lead, when I hear lead, I'm like, wow, QMHP can actually. Would you find out QMHP can actually supervise like a.
They can be informed. A lot of the duties a clinical supervisor does, as long as they're supervised by a licensed person.
Oh wow.
So people are actually getting one LPC and putting 8 leads over 8 clients. You get what I mean?
Okay, work harder. Not
Work
smarter.
harder.
I love it. You're talking about
She goes, so basically I could be in charge of 100.
So we're developing a QHP lead training. QHP lead training. Okay,
Wow.
so it'll save you money too.
Man, that is
In a lot of ways.
I'm so excited, you guys. But I'm going to be available,
Are you able
to
to-
meet and do different things. I just have to I have to go pick up
Tonight?
children.
So I
Yeah, we may be able to meet tonight. I just have
Do
to go
dinner?
get my kids from school. But yeah,
Do
like
dinner
so
or something like that,
anytime
maybe?
after,
Okay.
then I'm good. So
Okay.
we can kind of touch base.
Okay.
But anytime after 5.
What is the clinic name that you're going to?
Oh no, the clinic name. It's going to be.
Have we gotten to that process yet?
It's not official yet. But it's going to be Fraser Behavioral Services.
Eric can show it to you.
So what we
So
talked
I'm
about,
over like
I
the
was
franchise liaison
so
that we
I wanted
have.
to do.
And
I
so
can't
they'll be the ones that'll
implement
be like
she has
contacting
to,
you
so
and
that's
doing
why
all
she
your
has to
paperwork.
talk.
Okay,
Yeah.
So I just wanted to make sure, so when I see it come through, Fraser, I will remember that. So yeah, yeah, they'll definitely be able to like help
This
you
will save- this will
answer
save you
questions
so much
and
time.
everything, and then
It's like
be
a
able
they'll
to get
actually
your
do it.
LPCs
We don't
set
have
up
to
and
approve it, we gotta
all
figure out how we
that.
finish that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Nobody's
okay.
using it.
Yeah, so
Another-
just
another-
so we can meet
That's
there.
what-
Right.
Anytime after
But
5.
Grant Wright can be.
All right, thank y'all so much.
Good API connection.
Bye, ladies.
Nice to meet you.
Safe in the weather. It was lovely meeting you.
Let's make it work together.
Yeah.
Because I'd hate to lose that.
Transactions will be processed
Yeah.
regarding franchise fees.
Yep.
Because the franchise fee piece is the one that we.
So you can invoice and you can pay through Go High Level, you're able to do a lot of things with that too. So, but
I
yeah,
will
we've got.
gladly research that, especially on my way home.
Yes, please.
Since we have
Brand
some
wide,
time.
research how it can connect to.
Oh.
Well,
Brand-wide.
there's APIs.
We've
I
done
think
a
there's
lot in brand wide.
yeah.
Uh-huh.
I think you can API.
Oh, you can?
Potentially, there's API connections between Brandwide. Yeah. That's where you could have like a portal for I don't know who you could build out portals for
You
the
know what I mean?
potentially for the QMHPs or for the owner franchise owners. There could be a lot of different things you could do.
I know the reason.
Right, no, yeah, he
Right, so
explained it,
there's
he
systems
explained
that
the
said,
good
"Oh,
one
I got
down
it."
of it, and
You know what I mean?
like, I'm
We
Okay.
do need to look at trying to marry it with
You know,
something.
like he said, we got a contract with Brandwide, so.
We
Yeah.
can get our guy, we can get our guy
Not
on
to be
it,
cheap,
and we can
but
look at it
gotta
and see
be
how it
cheap.
can implement it, but it's, Rohan, he's excited about the program, Steven, we've got one guy that kind of focuses on the advertising part of it.
Okay.
Whether it be leads for QMHPs or, admin or even, getting kids in the system. It is, HIPAA compliant as well,
Okay.
so you can actually bring, clients into the system.
Yeah.
Which is really important.
Mm.
And then we have the guy that also sets up all the automations where, the follow-ups, and you can schedule the follow-ups a year out.
Is it like emails that go out and
Emails,
Text.
reminders and
messages.
text?
It's got AI built into it, so you can have that talk to them if you want, and you can put it's so easy. You can put your whole frequently asked questions into there, and then it'll answer questions about anything you have. And you can just put your website in there. It'll scan the website and it'll answer questions automatically within seconds. It builds out that database. But one big thing is a unified inbox. So so if you get a message from a text or a phone call, the voicemails go in there. Email, if they come off of Facebook or Instagram, all in one place. So we share an inbox. Like when he goes in there and a lead comes in and he talks to him, I can see that he talked to him, and I know how to answer to that, and like, and then automation, but all
records phone calls.
Records all the phone calls are in there, but like all the automations you can build out, just like the texting and all these triggers, so things that can happen. And then like if they answer a certain way, it moves them into a different pipeline over here, and you can build all that out. So like you can have really in depth where you once they're in, you don't have to think about them anymore, and having like reminders going out or like checking back in with them or whatever, things like that. So there's a lot of opportunity where it's like when you go on their site, it shows like here's like 20 different programs that you would spend thousands of dollars a month on. Like it's all here for like, I mean, like as little as $97 a month. Like it's,
you guys hear about it? Like, who?
it's like it's huge. I mean, like it's like once you like go to like Go High Level's Facebook,
I've been
their
on
YouTube channel. I mean, they've got over 4,000 videos, like hour long, teaching you everything. But their community is like they have like 80,000 people in their Facebook group. And anything you have a question about anything, just throw it in there, and like a whole bunch of people just like the community just helps each other. But we have a couple people that are like specialists in it that do all this stuff. And the one guy, his company's nurturing, like he's all about nurturing. Like so he like how to. He's really creative on how he comes up with like the nurture process of just keeping in touch or doing whatever. But you can send out files. You can have their signatures in there, like document signing. There's everything.
And people can
everything. Upload things, yeah. So you can create like portals for them to log in, and you can let them see whatever they want. But the big piece about Go High Level too, the biggest piece about Go High Level is snapshots. So you create the Texas Care snapshot, and you just like click of a button, it just copies to every single. They have the whole business, everything you want to give them, it just copies to the new business. And you can sell that to people, or you could just for the franchises, everyone. It would send it over with all the websites, the funnels, all the stuff, all right in there. So it's like it's a game changer, I would say. Like it's literally like they're gonna go public. It's like they're a big company with a lot of support. Like it's
Are they like a startup or
no, they've been around for like no, they're huge. They have like they're gonna go public, I would say soon. Like they're SaaS, like SaaS software as a service. So they think of them as like your Windows for the computer. It's like, but it's for business. You can run. They like the one guy, one of the founders on a video I watched, and he said like he forecasts that there will be a company that will use their back end for everything they do instead of hiring and having to pay millions of dollars to build it out. They use all their tools, and a public will use their back end and they'll go public with them as the back end software for the company going public. Like so, that's like a big thing that for them for somebody to be able to come in and save all that cost from hiring it all out and building it where it's already built there, and now this all piece and it's instead of like typically you're piecing things together where you have like this program over here and they got these Zapier like Zaps going, or have you heard of that where you're like that's like what connects to a Google Sheet, which then runs the data over to here. Well, with this you don't need anything. It's all in one solution.
okay.
And the other thing with it, like you can easily build this out yourself. Like I'm old enough to like I'm 46 and like I've built out stuff and but like when things don't work out, like I don't have the energy to go figure out why it doesn't work anymore.
Yeah.
But like Go High Level, like when like with me, like every time like I watch a YouTube video and I follow the instructions and like it works every time. It's like very user friendly. Like everything I've done, just like it just works.
One of the ideas I
it's been really
is
awesome
these
for that.
virtual business cards that we made. If you go to like AntonHocking.com, you can have every employee of Texas Care have their own little virtual business card that has whatever
these are
necessary for that. Like
so these are pretty cool.
Like
you
want to intake.
Then you can put chat. It's just got chat with AI and everything. You can ask it any questions about your business or whatever. But I created this. This could be something that every like QMHP could have potentially, where then you scan goes to this site or whatever. But you can all these different things. But we had this one like share your info. You go in here and then like we were using it at the franchise event last weekend in Atlanta. And so we were taking selfies with everybody, and then it sends them a selfie of us together and says, "Hey, this is me. This is our picture together." And then it says we met at. So you can say where you met. It says we met at the Atlanta franchise event, and then it does all these follow-ups for the like over the next year. But then like a year from now, it sends out that selfie again. And says, "Hey, it's been a year. Here's the picture of us again. What you up to? What are you up to? Or whatever." And just reconnects. So you can set up all kinds of things like that do really cool things.
Yeah, that's what you were showing me.
You guys gonna set up a Zoom call next week?
Yeah,
One problem we're running into now.
Yep.
And Arian will be on that one because I'm not gonna be in these guys. But we did assign a CRM when we started.
Yeah.
With a lot of those features. But what we did is as it started, and we had a couple people that said they didn't want to use it, so we went all of a sudden sheets started popping up.
Oh.
Makes sense? And now we have sheets, and now, like, for instance, even with the transfer, you spent like 3 days, 4 days, or something that should have taken. If you're a CRM, you should have had all that. And it's just
Yeah,
That's-
it's
that's
really
the
easy
one
to
thing.
transfer
You know
all
what
that
I-
data.
that's what I was.
to it.
That's what I was saying. The power of Go High Level is snapshots. So you build out the Texas Care snapshot.
Yeah.
New franchise, one click, they got everything you want to give them. Funnels,
Well, especially you guys are
websites,
accessible too.
everything.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that frustrated me about Brand White is I love the program, love the aspects of the program. I love the that's part, huh?
A week.
A week.
Yeah.
We gave up on a week. And I'm not saying nothing bad, but I'm gonna say just exactly what I'm thinking. That guy, he talks in monotone. He's from India,
Yeah.
and I can't. I got Indian friends. That guy. Wow, all my friends are Indian. I'm not doing that. What I'm saying is, a week would talk, and I could. We had a. We could
Yeah.
not understand each other.
Yeah.
You can understand when I talk.
That's
He can
right.
understand when
That doesn't work.
I think people get on there and just not talk.
It's like, I don't know what he's saying.
You know what I mean? So it was like.
Oh my
Then we
God.
just abandoned Brand White. I think, to be honest with you, because support was. It's a great program, but
It's
support.
not as nearly user friendly as you'd like though.
As we'd like it to be, so
Right.
we're open to that.
Yeah.
Just gotta figure out how to get out of.
So what I think would be good, like if you have a rep over there figuring out what API connections are possible, because that could connect into Go High Level, and Go High Level has HIPAA compliance in it and everything, so
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like all set up for
Good.
all that. So I think
it's
there's
much when we have.
there's already like, and there's probably pre-built snapshots we could already bring in that already have a lot of stuff already built out that you could get from somebody else. You get that snapshot already, and they build off of that potentially or whatever. But I think it's a game changer for what we've done. And like when I see these other companies, like if you start watching video or learning about it, like it's pretty amazing what they put
Guess what
together.
we're doing tonight?
The other thing is-
Just go to YouTube. Just go to YouTube.
Tell them about Yext. So like we can put the Texas Care website in Yext, and then you can have it basically post your business on all these different sites at once.
But I,
So it's like you'll get like
High
it's kind of like
level is,
SEO. It's like
high level
you
is
can have them all at once. You're getting
Okay.
posted
Yeah.
across all the different search categories, and
Okay.
Let
I
us
mean
look
it's
at
it's
let us look at prices then.
it's like I mean
So-
it's like $97 a month.
yeah.
Really?
Just everything.
The main package is $597, but that's if you want to
But-
like resell.
But here's
it
the thing,
and
like
everything that, but-
with our like we have the package. Like if you pay $497, you can bring on unlimited companies under you, and you can charge them a penny, or you can charge them 10,000 a month, and you keep 100% of the revenue. They
Okay,
work
so
off
you
of
can white
usage.
label it. Okay.
They make their model is usage. So when you send a text, it's like 2 cents or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's where they make their money. They don't care. They want millions of people, and
And
they're
we don't
using it.
care about making
But
money.
you can also
You know what I mean?
upgrade. We can upcharge that as well. So you can say, well, I'm going to charge 4 cents a text, and you can make 2, and they make 2, and you can double.
No,
You can
that's
double that
outstanding.
too. So like
That's
there's
outstanding.
more money that can be made on that side of it if you want nickel and dime people. But you can make it cheap. So like the one company that we work with, they give it to everybody for $39 a month. They just want you in there, and then you can get access to all the tools, $39 a month, and then there's usage in there, and you make money off of that. So like
Outstanding.
that's their model. Is like
that's
you pay one
outstanding.
fee, you can have so right now I can set you up with a Texas Care snapshot in like 3 seconds
Yeah.
and charge you $0 for it, and you can have access to everything.
Wow.
But for you to be able to bring on other snapshots below you, then you got to go to either like a $297 or a $4. The biggest level is $497 a month. That's the biggest
Got it.
thing, and you get access to everything. You can do it.
Gotcha.
It's crazy.
You get as many users as you want.
It's
$4.97.
unlimited, and you keep
Okay.
100% of the revenue if you want to charge.
Good.
It's crazy.
Good.
It's crazy.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Right? And you're paying hundreds of dollars, all these different things. You bring it all into one, and like
Bring
you
it
pay,
all.
and you bring it in
Yeah.
one
It's nice having all the tools
Right.
you need in one place.
Yeah.
I hate
Big
logging
things like
into this and logging into that. and logging
They
into
won't
that.
make breaks, you know.
Yep, yep.
See what
Username and password.
Start all over.
Your whole entire database is there.
Trying to hire people.
That would make.
What do you think?
And you can put the categories of people in different places. So if you want only your QMHPs in one area,
Right.
you can communicate with all of your QMHPs. If
But
you
there's
want
so
People
many-
like you and I love that because
Yeah.
you can
But
compartmentalize.
The other thing too, though, like
Chaos.
but for trainings and all that too, like you can set trigger links. So somebody you send them a link, like if they click on it, it'll send them to the next one. If they don't, it'll like remind them. It goes down this other path until they click, and then it flips them over to the other one. And like you can set up all those automations where you don't have to remember to go do all this stuff.
Yeah.
And it reminds
Rings on
them.
fire now.
That's
Like,
Franchise documentation. I know we had one of the reasons we had chosen Brand White in the first place is that though we're not using it, franchise documentation, there's supposed to be a step-by-step process. Before you can go to the next screen.
Yeah, you can build that out.
You can build that
And
out.
they have courses, but you can build courses in there. It's all built into there. There's
all your existing courses, you probably put them in there.
they're all right in there. Yeah, like there's courses. It's just free, and nothing is like an add-on. Like it's just available. when you have it. So it's pretty awesome.
Let's do a Zoom on the next.
So like if you have any school like
Yeah.
classes, and you
Yeah,
can
I have
sell
a
and you can
courses.
sell monthly
I'm
good
subscriptions to
at
the
that
classes,
program.
get access to them and all that.
She is too.
And you keep 100% of it.
I'm ro-
Mhm.
all right.
Okay. See, people like us get excited about these little toys.
I do too. I've been.
I saw them line up.
How,
They're like, you need to get up and give a speech, and we're like,
Franchise fees.
but we have this
Can you
tool. And
hold
let
on
me
one
tell you
second? I'm
about
gonna have to
this
ask
tool.
Eric a question.
Don't mind if I
What's
stand
that?
up.
1 second, guys. Say that question again.
So one thing I liked about Brandwide is that we can set it up to where we have franchise fees that's very specific to each franchise, depending on which FDD they signed, et cetera, whatever fees they have. And it can automatically process every month
Yeah, that's
through
it.
the Stripe API.
Yeah.
that's
It's that
connected.
Stripe and all that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
okay.
So you can
So you can build that out.
So we can set up
Okay, gotcha.
individual fees for each franchise.
Oh yeah,
to pay.
yeah, and you can build that.
So that's
But the other option would be like just API connecting it to Brandwide, and then or something. And if there's maybe that stuff stays in Brandwide if it makes sense.
No, I like that. We like that. We haven't used it enough, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
We haven't utilized it, so it's be great
Yeah.
to start over with something new that has it. So I wouldn't want to connect an API or something I'm not using.
Right.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? So but that
Yeah.
sounds
Or
like.
we could relieve, just take away some of the components we're utilizing with Brandwide, because we're utilizing all components that it has to offer. We could just use the financial part and get rid of the rest.
Yeah, we could.
because some of that stuff if it's already
Maybe
built
your
out there.
calendar's built in there.
You don't want
can
to
have
start
calendars.
over.
Well, there might be a process to build the same thing into Go High Level because like the tools are there, but you'd have to rebuild it, and
Yeah.
Brandwide already has it. So
But
some
things like
things might
Roll-On
make
do
sense
that.
just to like
Just
if that's
keep
going to
that
be a
portion of
big
it
project,
there.
or maybe over time you could
All
like
the CRM
build it and then
See what you
transition
need, and you can build
over or
it as you
something.
need it
But
too, like,
Exactly.
oh, we
Now,
need this,
we're
okay,
gonna
let's
start-
build it,
Yeah.
bam, it's done.
And
That's the
so
important part.
for you had somebody help y'all build.
yeah, we've got a couple.
Right.
I've built a lot of,
Pretty
but
much
but we have a
knows.
bunch of people. We have a few people that we have teams that would help build
Okay.
all that stuff
Like
that
all the
they could
little-
talk. Yeah,
Okay.
Anything you can think of. that-
Rohan
It's very
is
customizable.
yeah. Rohan's awesome. Like he's the nurturing. Like he's all about nurturing and like in that. And but he's got it, and he's got a team below him that does all that stuff too. So he typically like I think his build out. He said like to build out a snapshot is like $3,000 or something like that. He would build out the whole snapshot and like sit down and like just work with you, depending on how in depth it is. Maybe if it if it's something even
Even less
bigger.
than that, maybe even.
But it might be more, or it could be more if it's like more in depth. I guess I don't know. But
Yeah.
But and then you just would pay. So then the other beauty of it is like you pay the $497 a month to him. He makes a commission off of that, and then you have access to all that. Like it's like a.
Yeah. And it's not. It's support
But-
for whenever you need it.
But for that, but then now he's making some of the money back that gives him something to help support or whatever, Or, so it's worth a conversation, at least getting on and like talking and seeing what it could be.
Will he be on that Zoom
Yeah,
call?
oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we get him on there for sure. Yeah,
He's excited about it. He's
he likes the
wants
vision.
to-
Everyone likes the vision of the company, and they want to help too.
Right,
So like
right.
so yeah. But then every franchise owner could probably like so then if we got every franchise owner paying him maybe that $497 or something, and then now it's building up the money he's making to help support everything. It gives him more
then it's more
reason
freedom
to-
for him to do whatever. His goal is to get to 300 clients.
Yeah.
And with us, I mean, we're a third of the way there already.
Yeah, we could bring that to
Even
him.
if each franchise
Yeah.
is paying them $500 a month, that's worth it.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? That's worth it.
Yeah, we've got that new FDD that comes out too. Has some different things that are in it.
Okay.
Just some really. One thing to let you know is this is an employee related relief. Like it gives, like just said to Andrew, I can hire another employee if we do this part, right? You know what I mean? They're able to hire
Yeah.
somebody else.
I mean, we hire
You know what I mean?
Rohan as our guy, our marketing or our systems guy. That's kind of the person you would be.
Because everything now goes through. That's what guys. To be honest with you, that's what we're building. Everything. These salaries. These people cost money.
Yeah.
To work here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And ensuring that they continue to work here is part of that. And this part of it can be a small revenue drawing, but it may save us some money and time.
Well, here's the thing. Go High Level, I think, is going to save you. You probably have to hire 5 people in order to do everything that Go High Level does,
Okay.
and just the automations it creates. I mean, you're going to save so much money,
Yeah.
and,
Just have
and
one
it can
employee
be
that
more
does
efficient.
that. One employee that does that. I know that we got a lot of people at this table that's not me. Y'all know that's not me. That want to do this job. I can do this with everything else that I do, and I love y'all for that. Love y'all for that. Y'all gonna stop doing that. We have to have
Yeah.
a person that, because y'all are they do that. You know what I mean? These 4. They do that. They will try to grab hold of something else. But if this is that way, then we can hire one person that handles that. and have them work
That
regionally
person
and
can be part of the
statewide.
marketing team, so.
Exactly, yeah.
As
And-
well, so.
And Rohan, he does that too. He does the marketing. He's like
Okay.
he does all that
Content.
stuff. Like
He kind of came up with something really cool for real estate agents, and you could do it the same way as this is. But he went on to Reddit, and let's say this was more for like refinancing a house or doing a HELOC, but you could look up on like Reddit like the things that people are talking about in mental health.
Mhm.
You can basically highlight the whole entire list of Reddit and what people are talking about and issues they're having with mental health. And then what he does is he puts that whole list into ChatGPT and he says, please summarize this.
Mhm.
And then all of a sudden it'll summarize all the key points and all the different things you can talk about and all the content. And then he takes that content and he says, okay, highlight this one and then create, some things that
Like a
you want to
reel.
talk about with this or any
Like create a reel.
solutions that might be pertaining to this.
so, yeah, you go off of like what people like what's trending,
Yep.
and then you make reels off of that. And now when people are going in there and asking those questions, well, now you show up in Google because you're SEO and the internet, those keywords like the long tail questions.
We have a spokesperson that's joined us, Dedra. She's our legal analyst. She's works with the firm that represents it, the healthcare firm that represents it. And but she's kind of doing a dual thing with us. But she's going to do some spokesperson videos from a legal standpoint of what Texas Care does. The
Yeah.
reason we are utilizing her is because you do want someone at a law firm speaking for you. You guys get what I mean?
Yeah.
You want, when you're working with Medicaid, you do want someone speaking and saying the right stuff.
Yeah.
Because we can easily slip up and say something on video. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? We've even misspoke on this once before. You know what I mean? That can be, you're not being careless.
Yeah.
You're just going off the limited information you have at the time.
Yeah.
But we want to make
Yeah,
sure that
you don't know what
everything's
you don't know.
researched. And that person can attach. We can do videos that are inside the actual program. Then, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
You don't want the franchisees to get that. There's a lot of legal information we guys want y'all to know right when you're opening. Some HIPAA complaint. What happens if someone you lost a group of, let's say you were using paper files and you lost files. Guess what? You got to notify every client on your list of what I mean. But
And you can keep all these files
Yeah.
in GHL as well. Like
Okay,
all of
got
them
you.
can be stored in there.
stored in there.
Yep.
Yep. So if there's any
Yeah.
kind of breaches or anything, you got to notify people. So we want to be able to have control of that kind of deal.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
it's okay to get audited. You don't want to get fined. You know what I mean? For something ridiculous. So yeah, let's get
Set it
together
up
like
for
next week sometime.
Yeah. We'll get rolling. Yeah.
Yeah.
You got time next week?
How can we all
Get on
just
Zoom.
email? I think is probably the best to communicate
Just
with
do
everyone.
just
or-
do WhatsApp.
Are you guys on WhatsApp too?
Yeah, I've got iPhone, man. I'll check it
About
Thursday.
I gotta get her. on
Check it once a week.
that.
Let's just,
To the
just
one that
get
we-
on with Rohan. Let's set up a time.
Yep. and
He's got a booking calendar if we want to set up a time. Or we can send it to you and you can book it maybe with when everyone
Put it there.
get the time together.
But it's not like we don't talk.
Yeah, right.
Like all y'all done. I think it's good.
Because between you and maybe Susan, I mean, it's like 20 calls a day.
All day.
Yeah.
I'll even text them sometimes. It's weird for us to text because I'll be like, why am I texting? It's 5:30. It's 5:30 in the morning. What are you doing? What's going on, man? Oh, my elliptical. Shoot, I'm staring at my elliptic.
He'll text me, hey, you up? Because that's when he goes to sleep. And like right around when he goes to sleep is when I wake up. So we
Yeah,
have
that's gotta go.
15 minutes of
I do my best work from about 9 to about 2 in the morning.
You got the other part of the shift covered.
And then he'll text me, and then he goes, "What are you doing up so early?"
That one, I will tell you, Lizzie does that because I do wake up in the middle of the night because this is a lot. This is an undertaking.
Brain starts thinking.
Brain
like,
starts
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh my God.
Right.
And I tell everyone, don't. You know this too. Just if you have me on your list, just cut off your notification in the middle of the night because I'm gonna send it.
Last week.
Yeah.
I texted you at 1:45 and I was like, he'll get it in the morning. 2:30, he texted me.
and I will take 2:30. And then she'll text me back at 4 o'clock. Why are you texting me? Because I told you to turn off your notifications. And then Erin rolls over and she's like, what are you doing? Because the light, you got to remember, we have blackout curtains in our room. So when my phone comes in, it looks like Jesus. So I was like, she goes, what are you doing? It's like,
But like I do that same thing. Like, and if I don't write it down or do something.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes.
I'm gonna forget it by morning, right? So like, you got it. And then all of a sudden I'll be awake and it's 2 in the morning. Like, well, now I can't go back to sleep. So
That's yes.
Dude,
I will wake up and be like,
yeah, like,
I
might
had
as well just get up.
I had a dream 2 nights ago. We were talking about this virtual business card and having like an automation set up so that people could just fill out their information. And my dream had everything that I wanted to do, and I woke up and was like, oh shit.
I did that with Ty. We ordered her book, and we got 2 of her copies of her book, and they were up here. I was reading over stuff, and I was thinking tutoring, and I was really glad I didn't have your phone number. You really got one place. Especially now you got 2 of them. We were like, I need that. You just busted out SAT. I know I'm gonna be up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I know I am. 'Cause we gotta get, not be passionate, but y'all know I'm passionate about that. We gotta get these kids something. We gotta offer them something besides this. You know what I mean? Texas Care as an organization have to offer more than what Medicaid offers. Get what I mean?
Mhm.
So Medicaid may offer life skills, but we gotta offer food, clothing, schooling,
There's just
anti-bullying.
expenses that you're not gonna get reimbursed for, but it will help your community,
Is-
help people, and bring in clients.
Yeah.
Is there a non-profit aspect to this where,
Working on one right now.
Yes.
alright, okay, cool.
Yeah, we got an attorney. He just texted me about that while we were sitting here. We're
I
gonna
was
build a
wondering about that.
Because that's the
nonprofit.
way to get reimbursed.
Exactly.
But a nonprofit could open up a clinic, could franchise, couldn't it? Like if they wanted a nonprofit
That's a
wanted
good
to
question.
franchise?
That's a legal question. I don't know if state of Texas if you're required to have a for-profit.
What?
Could a
nonprofit
nonprofit
corporation
buy
open
into a
Texas.
profit?
I believe so. I saw a nonprofit the other day
They have a for-profit attached to it.
that provided, community services.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So
Right.
so
No. She would know. Yeah.
so
Need grants then.
yeah, I've got a father of like a soccer player on my daughter's team. His son committed suicide. He's from New Mexico. He had sex with a girl, 17. He was 18. Her parents found out about it, started threatening all that stuff. He was like quarterback, like
Yeah.
everything going for him. Split decision, killed
Okay.
himself. He started a foundation, so he puts together like scholarships for like kids and does all this stuff. So he's bought into like 7 shares with us already, and he's like really passionate about all this. But he has this foundation. So he has a friend that lives still in. He works for the Parks and Rec in like Hobbs, New Mexico, or something like that. But also has connections in like Texas, like in like Lubbock and some of those areas, like western over towards like New Mexico. He said, so he knows a bunch of people in the government. He had worked in the government center, so he said that each of these cities has like millions of dollars that was set aside for mental health for COVID, just sitting there, grant money that's just sitting.
Oh yeah.
So what his idea was like, they're gonna try to like see if they could get like maybe like $300,000 together as a grant to open up Texas Care clinics under his foundation in each city.
That would make a lot of sense.
Then he took it further and he went back to New Mexico and he started talking and he's talking to like the mayor, and the mayor's got 2 years left, and I think it's a she, but she wants to make a difference there. So that's what I asked about New Mexico. So like rates there like $44 or something like that.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense.
It's terrible.
But she said like she could potentially pull aside like $1 million to put towards something, like if you opened a clinic there and then like subsidized it with grant money or something.
That's
Is there
marrying them together. That would make sense.
and then that could be our way into other states potentially, or getting the name out there potentially through. And if it's a nonprofit doing it, maybe you don't need $102 an hour if it's a nonprofit. Maybe there's a different number or something where maybe there's a way to make it make sense through a foundation that's a nonprofit or something. But these guys, he's like really passionate, and so definitely they're going to work on the Texas side. But they're also like trying to see like what could be done over in New
Let's take a
Mexico.
look at it. Let's take a look
So-
at it.
2014 was, age 2014 was 44.
Okay.
Age 2017 was like 28.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But but the good thing is 44 a unit or an hour.
An hour.
An hour.
Yeah.
It was like $11 a unit.
Well, the one thing I would tell you though, and weirdly, that's still better than Florida. It's weird. Florida's $27 an hour. No, get this.